Guys, I just wanted to address that I'm not Exoticals United. I think that you guys need to see an ear doctor because I don't sound anything like her. Anyway, some people kept thinking I'm her or wanting me to talk about her, and I mean, I don't have any issue with that lady. What she does on her channel is what she does. I'm not really gonna have much of an opinion on that. There was some controversy a few months ago about people not really being mixed, skin lightening, all that stuff. And look, I think that this person wants to be anonymous. She sounds mixed to me. So I think she's multiracial, black and Latina. So there was the Goldensphere, and then there was the Exotical channels. So the Goldensphere was more for like light-skinned, black, mixed race, and biracials. The Exotical channels were more for like darker tone, mixed women, and black women from what I understood. So yeah, I mean, to me, her channels like Chrissy or Mrs. Midwest, like I haven't watched Chrissy in a long time, but sometimes I would have interest in her videos. Same with Mrs. Midwest. Like, I'm not a stay-at-home mom, so I'm not able to really relate to her content, but I like the concept minus some of the red pill dog whistling she used to do on her channel. I feel like colorism is just a lot of internalized racism, like self-pity parties, like, oh, I'm beneath everyone, that's how I really want to be seen, and I want to make others look bad. Like, to me, it's futile to even discuss it because, I mean, like, there's a lot of hypocrisy and gaslighting and just, you know, the circular logic of it all. Like, I don't really have an inclination to address it, really, but yeah, if you're going to, I think Exoticals United does so. I haven't really experienced much of this in real life, but on the internet, people like to gaslight people and make outlandish claims to get like clout and attention. Like, I remember Chrissy's videos on light-skinned and biracial women. She would refer to the woman she's talking about as mediocre. Like, to me, that's just odd, you know? What if I made a video on white women, Asian women, Latino women, or something like that, and referred to them as mediocre? To me, it comes off like, oh, you're light-skinned, you're not living up to the stereotype I have of you in my head. Like a fetishization, like, oh, you're actually, you know, not like the goddess I had in my head. You're actually not better than me, you know. And I'm not saying that Chrissy herself is doing this, but yeah, that's kind of the idea that I get, like, when I'm reading the comment sections and stuff. But, you know, when we're talking about the black community and people of black descent, I think there's, you know, a lot of internalized issues and insecurity, and no, I don't think it's just based on skin color, you know, just a part of being a minority of African descent, not specifically based on a skin shade. So when talking about colorism, I don't think a lot of the time anyone's actually colorist. I'm not saying that there aren't any problematic light skin or dark skin people. I'm just saying a lot of the time there's just someone looking for something to bully or spite someone out of insecurity. So, I mean, to me, I just have a different approach on this because a lot of the time, and I mean, yeah, a lot of the colorism spaces and content seems to want to stereotype mixed and light-skinned women as all colorist and misread or misrepresent intentions. I feel like it's like dehumanization and objectification. And, you know, sometimes I think this sort of thing comes from a place of negative experiences. I think that is a major thing, like being attacked for your looks and your skin tone and your race is really problematic. And it shouldn't be happening within the race or community as well, but it does. But, I mean, with Exoticals United on her channel, there's people, like, more so in a black environment and dealing with it more, and that's not me. I'm more so outside of it, so this stuff doesn't really affect me as much, I don't think. So it's like, in my opinion, they're more so speaking on a community that they're more a part of, whereas for me, it would be like, oh, it's someone of a different race being mean, you know what I mean? But yeah, I was watching one video of Exoticals United that, yeah, I was pretty much agreeing on. She was talking about how colorism content creators have roots outside of America, and I think that's true. I think all of the big colorism content creators I can think of have roots outside of America. Like, I think Chrissy has Caribbean roots. So yeah, Caribbean, African. Like, these people, I guess they don't really understand the Black American community. Like how dark-skinned black men would prefer light-skinned black women, and light-skinned black men would prefer dark-skinned black men, and we would all kind of get lumped in with each other and mix with each other, and then, you know, create families that have these mixed phenotypes. And, you know, when the media looks at this and when Hollywood looks at this, you know, they would just copy and paste. So you would have a lot of like dark-skinned black man, light-skinned love interest or whatever. It's not that I really disagree with, you know, these Africans, these people outside of the African American identity and all. It's just that it seems like they're coming into something they don't quite understand or have a grasp on. So anyways, with the Goldensphere and the Exotical channels, you know, when the Goldensphere first came up, it was 2019, I think. I wasn't really that into it because of what I did see didn't really seem like it was for me. Basically, it was like the content I saw was more of like the people who Chrissy was describing. Like, I'm not a colorist, I'm not hateful towards dark-skinned black women, I'm not biased towards dark-skinned black women. And, you know, from what I recall, like, some of those spaces, I mean, like, they were interested and all up in your business about who you're interested in and who you want to be with, and you were supposed to be interested in dark-skinned black men, because on the dark-skinned black women channels, you know, it was like they were more so supposed to be interested in, you know, non-black men or whatever, I guess. And I think, like, people should just keep that to themselves, seriously. Like, I prefer dark-skinned black men to prefer dark-skinned black women. I mean, like, what is the shock here? I want dark-skinned black women to be appreciated by dark-skinned black men because it makes sense. I don't understand why I would have an issue with that or why I would want anything else. White men prefer white women. Hispanic men prefer Hispanic women. I don't know what the shock is. Like, you must be really insecure to have an issue with me saying that black women should be appreciated and preferred by black men. Like, why would you have such an issue with that? I think everyone should be seen as beautiful for themselves. To me, it seems odd and weird. You wouldn't want dark-skinned black women to be appreciated or be preferred by who they are. Like, I'm not going to be upset at that. I think honestly it's because they feel inferior. They have this issue of feeling inferior because they are like, if what they like is going after someone else, it kind of bothers them. I think it's like they feel like this is supposed to be their only option, but they feel like other men are better than black men, which is not good. To me, it's like if you're with a man you feel is less than other men based on skin tone, don't be with him because you're not good for him and you're devaluing him. Well, anyways, the second time around, there were just a few channels. I think they were trying to like create a mixed space. I don't know if it was official or anything like that, but there was a divide with the Goldensphere and the Exotical channels. Exoticals United was more going against Chrissy. So, Chrissy talked about her space being for unambiguous dark-skinned black women. So, dark skin, more Afrocentric features, like wider nose, fuller lips, type 4 Afro hair. So, and in the Goldensphere, I think they actually just wanted a mixed space. Exoticals United just kind of flipped the script, regarding Chrissy's channel. Chrissy is saying, oh, if you're these type of women, you're not actually, who my channel is geared towards. So with the Exotical channels, if you're 25% mixed, you're welcome on the channel, or just if you have ambiguous features, opposed to what Chrissy deemed as unambiguous features. Oh, I mean, yeah, I get that. If I was 25% mixed with something else, I would consider myself mixed. I just wouldn't just identify with, one thing. So I understand the complex of, not wanting to just fit into one box when that's not actually what you really are. So, it's not really like cut and dry. We're dealing with like a broad spectrum and continuum. Like African Americans, like they're not quite African and they're not quite European. They're closer to African, but they have European blood as well. And that ranges, I've seen a lot of DNA tests, and the lowest percentage I've seen for African Americans was 8% European DNA. I think I've seen 5% European DNA from the Caribbean. So yeah, they somehow were in an isolated community. I've also seen black people as much as 40% European, but apparently on average, African Americans are 20% European, which makes sense, because in the biracial spaces I've been in on DNA tests, I've usually seen 37 to 45% African. If they're mixed with an African instead of an African American, then, obviously it's closer to like 50-50. Like with the DNA test I've taken, the first DNA test I took was Ancestry DNA. Yeah, these things, they get updated at times, but yeah, when I first got my results, it said I was 41% African. Then it changed to 39% African. And when I took 23andMe, first it said I was 37.9% African, and then it moved up to 39.3%. So, I just say that I'm somewhere around 40%. So the black side of my family is around 20% European. and they are very, black looking. They don't look quite African. They don't look African to me, but they look black American. Dark skin, some are lighter shades, but yeah, my dad's dark skin, my grandma's dark skin, my aunties are dark skin, and like one is a lighter shade. So, but yeah, the whole thing with the DNA tests are, those aren't accurate. They are estimates, I think they're pretty good estimates, but mine got updated a few times. Ancestry DNA said I was 30% Eastern European. 23andMe says, I'm right near 40%. So yeah, and their population tests, because with the whole Israel issue, people will bring up population tests. So population tests tell you where your ancestors lived, and that can change for different groups of people. Like in Egypt, modern Egyptians are different from ancient Egyptians. Ancient Egyptians were more Middle Eastern and Levant derived, similar to Jews, whereas modern Egyptians have a different DNA makeup. And so in the Levant in North Africa, you had the Arab conquest. So, in the Middle East, you have people who have Arab admixture. But yeah, if an Egyptian took a DNA test, it's going to say he's Egyptian because they have a population isolate, even though ancient Egyptians are genetically different from modern Egyptians. Other times I've seen people who have more of like a multi-generationally mixed parent, like they're more like 60% black, and they do a DNA test, they're more like 30% African. Or, there's that person that's like, oh, I'm biracial, I'm half black, but really their parent is more like 40 or 50% black, and it's like you're more like a quadroon. So I mean, when you're talking about a mixed base, if you're going off of phenotype, the African American phenotype includes mixed phenotypes and European admixture. Most African Americans have a good chunk of European DNA. It's not just like 2 or 3%. Like the lowest I've seen is 8%. On it, the average low I've seen is 10%. Like I've seen that a lot. So I say most because I don't know if there's like somewhere, somehow, people got completely isolated. Most white Americans do not have a lot of any type of admixture. So, to me, it's relative. To me, someone 75% African, 25% European is mixed. But a lot of African Americans are technically mixed to the extent that they are closer to the average African American rather than, the other way around, or biracial. And now with this, we can all kind of look different, with biracials. Some are more, African American looking. Some look like what they are, biracial. Some are more kind of, white looking. Then you have quadroons. Some look like they can pass for biracials. Some look more white looking. And then you have African Americans, Some are light skinned, some are dark skinned, some look more mixed looking, And then you have the children of biracials, if they have a white spouse or a black spouse, like with Mariah Carey, like, I don't know what she is, say Mariah Carey is 65% white, and then Nick Cannon is 25 to 30% white. Her kids are, 40 to 50% European, so they're still they have a very mixed like phenotype. And then you have someone like Thandie Newton. So she's exactly half African. Her mom was from Zimbabwe, and her kids are a quarter African. To me, like Nico Parker, to me they look a lot like their mom. You know, just a bit paler. So yeah, to me they look biracial passing. But you know, then you have quadroons that look very white looking, very European, like Brittany Venti, the YouTuber. I think she did her DNA test, so her mom's like multi-generationally mixed. Her DNA test came back 33% African. To me, you know, she looks European, very European. So, you know, a lot of us look different. Some of us look like what we are, some of us don't, you know. I really don't have much of a stance on this. I'm really just kind of talking. So, you know, what I was kind of looking for on my channel is I felt like I didn't really quite fit in anywhere, so I just wanted to give my point of view and, you know, to see if anyone out there related, you know. So that was my main thing. So with skin color, yeah, I got into it a bit with skin color, you know, light skin, brown skin. I didn't really know of what the Exotical stance is on their channel, nor was I addressing that. It's honestly not my concern how they want to run their channels. I was more so talking about how black people in general see it, you know, calling Beyonce and Rihanna light skin. I just always saw them as brown. And it's hard to tell with celebrities because they go tanning on vacations and they have harsh lighting, making them lighter and brighter, you know. But yeah, when talking about skin color, when talking about brown skin, to me, light brown is medium, you know. And then medium brown is more in the spectrum of dark skin. When talking about a mixed community, that's how I see it, because we have light and pale people like Tinashe. So she's supposed to be seen as the same color as like light skinned Keisha. You know, I'm not going to understand what someone means when they say light skin. Like light brown, medium brown is just more descriptive. But what I'm trying to say is I understand in the black community they see it differently when they have people of very dark shades. Like I'm like a Fenty shade 230. You know, when I use the shade finding app, that's what it said. So, you know, I'm not really gonna understand. I'm not trying to be mean. I just see brown complexions as different from me because I'm aware I'm not brown. I'm more of like a yellow shade, and people who are brown with, you know, with yellow undertones are a different color from me. But yeah, I was looking at an Exoticals United video on skin tone and get what she's trying to say, how people designate skin tones in a way that's used against people. Like I've seen people make people out to be lighter than what they are or darker than what they are based on the circumstances, or like, you know, people thinking that light skin is better for females, so they'll say, well, Chris Brown is light skin but Rihanna is not light skin. To me, they're both shades of brown. Sorry, this hair is like bothering me, but you know what I don't understand is though is why do you think it would be a pedestal to be light skin? No skin shade is better than the other.